How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
A rich history, a galaxy of greats, 10 titles between them. It is the IPL's own Classicos. Chennai Super Kings take on the Mumbai Indians. And what is the opening game for both teams of IPL 2025? This is Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. We'll keep one eye on Hyderabad, where it looks like the Sunrisers will eventually prevail, even though Rajasthan Royals are putting up a bit of a fight. But ahead of the box office fixture of the opening weekend, Matthew Hayden is here, Piyush Chawla is here, CSK and MI boys in their time, and Varun Aaron is playing neutral referee, boxing referee in a boxing fight.
There's only one person winning that match, the boxing match.
It's going Piyush's way, isn't it? No?
Thanks,
Couple of heavyweights either side of him anyway. Welterweight at best.
The rivalry, as Piyush told us yesterday, it's still alive. Raidu says it's actually more from an MI point of view than a CSK. But when it's the opening game of the season, Piyush, it's even more interesting because we know it's not just a cliche that Mumbai Indians don't start well. 12 years on the trot, they've not won their opening game.
Well, you must have heard a term called law of averages. So now it will time to turn that and win the first game of the tournament. So I think it's going to be a good game because looking at both the sides, when you're coming into your first game, you're trying to get those combination right and everything. And they'll have to put in a lot of hard work because there are two key players who are missing in this game, which is Bumrah and Hardik Pandya. They'll have to put in a hard work, but still they have a side to beat CSK at their home ground.
Yeah, it's a shame that because I would have wanted this to be the best of CSK and the best of MI, and Bumrah's absence, that's a big one. I mean, you don't have anyone in a squad that can fill Bumrah's shoes.
There's nobody in world cricket who can fill Bumrah's shoes. He's literally a full stop when it comes to the run rate. Like whenever there's a need for a wicket, you call in Bumrah. Whenever you want to put a pause on the scoring rate, you call him in. He's a captain's dream, I would say, and filling his shoes is virtually impossible.
They're also missing their captain, but how many teams can boast of the stand-in captain as India's international captain, Suryakumar Yadav, to lead today? Again, just the wealth of resources MI have.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that point, who could fill his shoes? Well, Trent Bolt might be able to go part of that way, and he's got some pretty key matchups as well with Rudraj Gaikwad, and that's a massive win for MI. Huge loss for the two R's.
Talk about the trends of these two teams. CSK have now won 3 on the trot, including 5 out of the last 6. There was a time in the not so distant past where MI had the rub over them. Are CSK on a bit of a streak here where MI is becoming a bit of a, shall I even say it, a bunny team for them?
Did you just not say that?
I'm asking you if I should say it.
Oh, right.
I already said it.
You've got it here first.
Exactly, yeah.
MI bunnies.
What have I got myself into? You're going away tomorrow. I'm staying here.
Look, it's brilliant. This, as you say, is El Classico. It's got these two great cities that are just pulsing with cricket influence. You've got this the glitz and glam of Mumbai Indians. That's always been there. And then you've got the heavyweights of cricket, Tamil Nadu cricket. And Chennai, it feels that through its blood. Its support base there at Chapak Stadium expects the very best. They're asking questions around whether or not Dhoni, it's going to be his last game. Series.
Let's get Bunny out of the way. Let's get Dhoni in now. Come on, go for it.
So those sort of emotions are right there in the stadium, and as long as I can ever remember, it's always been the case. And if ever there has to be blue blood spilt, it's at Chapak Stadium as well. That's the venue where you want to take revenge over MI.
He's teased up a very interesting conversation. I was going to go somewhere else, but we can't help but talk about the story that is the Dhoni factor over here. And remember that thing where he wore a t-shirt? The t-shirt on the training day which said what, the final dance or the last dance?
No, he entered with a t-shirt with Morse code at the airport, which just sent the whole internet into frenzy. So he's put it out there, I think, that this is going to be his last season. He said it last year as well that he's going to give it another go in the final interview of their last game. So let's see if it is his last season.
Did MI ever talk about this not starting well thing in your time in the dressing room?
We had a discussion just once that it's been quite a few years that we didn't win the first game of the tournament, but we don't focus too much on that, MI. Not we now. Am I?
All I heard is yes. Yes, we did have the conversation.
So yes, but that's how it starts. Like so many years it's been happening, but law of averages, as I say, I'm still rooting for MI for this game.
CSK won the toss at the Chepauk. They're going to have a bowl first. Advantage CSK already.
Interesting. I mean, if they're bowling first, they might be expecting due. Sometimes that happens at the Chepauk. But again, you've got that a rule now where you can change the ball, which is again a double-edged sword. If you go in with a hard ball towards the last 4 overs, you can see some big sixes hit, some miss hits go for 6. But anyway, Chennai's got a team which can bat first, bowl first. They've got pretty much a very well-settled, well-rounded team.
I can tell you the captains at the toss have brought up something interesting. Gaikwad says, I don't know how the pitch will play.
So that means it's a minefield?
It's basically taking a dig at the curator. If you don't know how the pitch will play.
Well, that's very rare for a CSK captain to not know.
Yeah.
Suryakumar Yadav says, we would have batted first. There's no dew with the wind, is what we've observed.
Right.
Okay. Oh, all right.
So that's an interesting.
Don't know the pitch, don't know the conditions. It's going to be an interesting game.
Do captains just say things sometimes to just,
Get out of the way.
or offset the opposition? There's no dew today. So CSK.
I mean, there's no mind games in saying I don't know.
The,
how the pitch is
the
going.
captains definitely don't know the team. they basically say, we've got 3 bowlers and we've got an all-rounder. Oh, beauty.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you Ruturaj Gaikwad actually does know his team.
Oh, good.
He says, we've got a young wicketkeeper coming back. And then the crowd roared when he mentioned Dhoni. 3 pacers, 3 spinners. Noor, Ellis, Rachin and Karan are the overseas picks.
That's an interesting choice because we
No
were.
Pathira?
No Pathirana? No
Is
Conway.
No Conway.
No Conway.
Conway, I'm still okay. Like we were discussing it a couple of days back that he's not having the best of the time in the middle. So, but although he had a very good record for the CSK team, but Rachin is in a form of his life, so you definitely wants him to feature in the 11.
Right. Just hearing that Pathirana had some sort of niggle in the warm-up game that they played. He did feature in a warm-up game.
Had to be.
I think after that he may not have recovered as well as they
What
would
about
have liked.
Ashen and Jaddu?
I'm sure they're there. So we'll look at the teams in a second. But before that, what kind of surface do we want at Chepauk? What kind of surface would you expect? Because they've done so well at maximizing home advantage. You know this, Haydos, the way they've built the Chepauk as a fortress. And when you look at MI's strength, strong Indian batting lineup that they do have, what is the sort of surface that gives CSK their best chance?
I think you want a surface that keeps any of the sides touring there guessing. That's the obvious thing to say. It's just when you're in the dugouts at CSK, you've had those conversations with the groundsman. The groundsman is telling you that it is quite dry. It's telling you all those factors that we just discussed there around dew factor and whether that's going to be important. The more that you can keep a side guessing as to the conditions, it might be the difference between maybe a 10 or 15 run deficit. So for mine, I think it's probably a good result reading between the lines that you bat first in the conditions.
What we've seen though in the last few years in the IPL is the Chepauk, which perhaps at one point you thought, all right, we're going to pick batters and bowlers who can play the 160, 150 game. Chepauk's improved significantly as a run scoring venue in the IPL in the last 2 years. The average scoring rate is up from 7.4 to nearly 8.45. Remember the impact player and all that in the last 2 years. Average runs per wicket up, average first innings score up. Let me give you a bit more when it comes to the type of bowling that prevails. We keep talking about Chepauk being spinners paradise and whatnot. As far as the economy and average goes, spinners economy is also on the rise, as are the pacers. The pacers are still, you would say, in range. The pacers average has actually dropped. The last few years we've seen good batting conditions, haven't we, Piyush?
And we have seen like number of runs scored there. You see there are a lot of players who are getting run there because the ball is coming onto the bat. It's not a typical Chepauk wicket which gets slower and slower as the game progresses. So I think that's why we see these kind of stats where the numbers are getting little better. And if they're featuring with 3 spinners, so they're expecting a bit slow wicket. Otherwise they would have not gone with 3 spinners for sure.
I mean, I can remember that game where Marcus Stoinis played a great innings in a chase. That was 220 chased easily. They got big runs against Gujarat Titans. Matt Roller does tell us though that when you look at those numbers, CSK didn't play at the Chepauk in between 19 and 2023 because there were neutral games at that time there or no games there. So just put that, it wasn't CSK playing at that time. Right, CSK is playing today. Let's have a look at the team. and we were curious to see the choice of overseas players. We have now an answer. Sam Curran back in the side, back in the 11. Rachan Ravindra to presumably partner Ruturaj Gaikwad at the top. Noor Ahmed and Nathan Ellis with in the absence of Matisha Patirana. Ashwin is very much there, so you got 3 specialist spinners. If you count Jadeja, Khalil Ahmed is there as well. Deepak Hooda, new franchise, and the rest of it is pretty much on expected lines. Right, let's get reactions on this. What stands out for you, Varun?
They've chosen to bowl first, right?
That's right.
That's a bit absurd to me, because if you're going to have 3 really quality spinners, that does send a message that you want to bowl second, you know. And if there's going to be no dew, I mean, we're obviously going to have to wait for the game to start and see how it's going to play and see the conditions. But if I'm picking 3 spinners in my team, I would always back myself to bowl second.
Surely their captains may have thought differently here. One thinks there's dew, one thinks there may not come dew.
Well, dew is something which nobody can think about, because one day you go for practice, there is dew, next day you come for the game, there is no dew with the wind factor and stuff. So that's something you can't really predict. You just want to feature your best 11 in the first game, and that's what I think CSK thought, that this is their best 11, which they're going to continue with that.
I'll just point out that the new rules come in too, where you can ask for a change of ball after the 11th over in case there is the effect of dew. Then somewhere does that balance the scales?
And the other one is that
Saliva.
the umpire can change it after the 15th over. Is that right?
After the 11th over, the opposition captain has the right to ask, and the umpire has to make the change.
Yes.
Subsequently, it's up to the umpires, is what I believe is the rule right
So
now.
it's not any particular over.
After the 11th over,
Yeah.
any point after the 11th over in the second innings of the game, the fielding captain can ask for a change of ball and the umpire must oblige, but the choice of ball will be the umpires. It won't be, the captain can't get to choose the ball. That's what we know of it. We might see it come into play today. Lots of spin though, lots of spin. So we're wondering if they'll get Noor and Ashwin and Jaddu together. This is an interesting challenge for even a Ruturaj Gaikwad. Do you think how he manages 3 very good spinners?
It's going to be interesting, but he's got 3 really good spinners at his disposal. They can go the KKR way. I mean, they will go the KKR way, where they really control the middle overs really well with 2 high quality spinners. Here they have 3. So and plus Jaddu and Ash, they give you a lot with the bat as well. So let's not forget that.
Let's talk Ashwin, because let's focus on him. He is back at the Chepauk. Will we see him play perhaps a more attacking role, Piyush? Because what we saw with Rajasthan was Ashwin bowling middle overs predominantly.
But that has been the strength of Ashwin, not trying to take too many wickets, just want to contain the batters and bowling those tight lines, and in that process if the wicket comes, he's more than happy. But here I am expecting him to bowl couple of overs in power play, because looking at the squad, I think he might end up bowling 1 or 2 overs in the power play. It depends how MI starts. And apart from that, he's somebody who can bowl you 1 odd over in the last 5 as well, because he has got that variations, being an off spinner, but he has got those variation up his sleeves that he can use that well.
I mean, just looking at Ashwin's last 3 IPLs, numbers on screen for you folks, wicket taking was a bit of a challenge. He was playing in a really strong bowling lineup. 2024-23, Yuzvendra Chahal was there, Trent Bolt was there, and there were just 9 wickets. Steady economy, 8.5 is very good with the impact player in the last couple of years. Haydos back at the Chepauk. It just seems like there's so much there with emotions and Ashwin's story over there. Can we expect the 15 wicket season that we saw in the days that you actually played or shared the dressing room with him at the Chepauk?
No reason. I mean, it's just such a high quality spinner. Like, he's got all the tricks in the bag, but it's also just the control, the mindset, the importance that he brings to the change room and experience. I mean, all those things are, again, very cliche type conversations, but the reality is he's still playing and he's still one of the best spinners in the country, and he's got conditions, even though those numbers are suggesting that, you know, it's maybe not as big a turning wicket as what we've had in previous years. He'll still turn up and want to do well this summer.
Suryakumar Yadav, as far as Mumbai go, am I the only one who's heard in recent times this chat of is Surya's form off? Is Surya's batting form a concern? Have you heard any of that? Any of you?
I mean, people have brought it up, but I don't think it really matters, because they're going to start the tournament today. He's going to hit reset mode and just go from ball 1 just the way he does, because Mumbai Indians is really close to his heart. He plays for Bombay. He's playing for Mumbai Indians now, and he knows how much they really need to do well this season, because after last season, this season they're really betting on a lot, because they've retained all their main players to go for the title this year.
I mean, just saw those numbers bottom of screen previously. His last 8 T20 innings, Piyush, an average of 6.7. I remember one IPL he entered with 3 ducks on the trot or something and started like that too.
Well, see, these things do happen to any player, and 8 games, whatever, like averaging 6, but now it's a different ball game when you come to IPL. And he's somebody who can, and it's not only for him, Hados will tell better, it just take like good 20 runs inning to get into that groove, and he's somebody who bats like that. If he'll bat for 20-25 balls, he'll end up getting 40-45 runs, and then from there he can carry on. So I think this is the right time to come back in the form now.
You know him
to assess as well. You know, we were talking off air before. You said something very interesting, which is rare actually.
Once every 4 years.
You said that it was actually he would win games of cricket off his own bat, and that is how you assess Suryakumar Yadav. He's not going to be Virat Kohli. He's not going to score 700 plus runs in the season, but he is going to absolutely win you a game and make impact in areas that have never really have shifted the way that batting's been viewed, in my opinion. Mr. 360, you know, the impact, the strike rate, the ability to be able to hit sixes in unorthodox areas, to access grounds. These are all really important skills, not only at Wankhede but also at venues like Chopak, which I found when I was playing a very challenging place to play. Big ground, or certainly big in the context of the IPL, and also difficult because the pace off the deliveries was something which became a lot trickier to play. But he's just so unorthodox. He'll win your games of cricket.
Yeah, I think that was finishing that point exactly. He had 3 ducks on the trot, started the apple of the duck, then 70 ball 30, and the 80 ball 40 just came about. So that is Surya for you. The only one concern would be whether this dip in form coinciding with him becoming the India captain has any correlation here. He's captain again today, but as captaincy sort of, have we missed out on Surya the batter because of captaincy? You know the man well.
Well, I don't think so. He's somebody who really enjoyed this challenge, because I've played with him since those KKR days when he used to bat at number 6, 7, and he always enjoyed that challenge. It's just that this is a kind of phase which comes in every player's life. So he's just going from that kind of a phase, and good that he had a break after that England series and he has got time to recover. He played some domestic cricket as well in between. So now when he'll come with a fresh mind, new tournament, new season. So you'll see a different Surya for sure.
Didn't you bat higher than him in a couple of games? Did you bat higher than Surya in a few games?
No. I batted with him, had few partnerships with him, but never batted higher than him.
Oh, you were the finisher for KKR.
Yeah, one season I was. Around 7-8 not outs.
MS Dhoni was keeping, but the greatest finisher in the IPL that time was Piyush Chawla.
I will never forget that image of Robbie and Piyush running together, and almost like a WWE sphere, with both of them falling on the ground.
I will not forget Piyush's face of absolute, like, I had this. You know, like, it was not even like emotional, like, obviously I'm going to hit it. You remember your winning moment, right?
Yes, I do, because I just won one IPL, so I know that, and obviously in that crunch situation when I got those runs, so. But yeah, at that season particularly, I was batting really well, and I used to bat a lot in the nets. So, and I had a good domestic season as well. So, I was having that kind of a confidence on my batting as well.
Good on KKR to release both Piyush and Suryakumar Yadav all those years back. Right. On that note, the Mumbai Indians team, in the absence of Captain Hardik Pandya and Jasprit Bumrah's out for at least a few games, have they thrown us a few curveballs? Ryan Rickelton and Will Jacks both feature. Trent Bolt and Mujib also feature. Now, what's interesting over there is Robin Minge, highly rated. Varun Aaron knows a thing or two about him. I'm going to come to him in a second. Is playing, as is S. Raju. They played actually, I think, decent money for at the auction. I think fast bowler. So there's the Indian fast bowler that we wait to see, presumably to fill in Jasprit Bumrah's shoes. 4 overseas named in that side. Varun.
Robin Minns, like you said, really exciting prospect. Missed out on the IPL last year because of a freak accident, but he's definitely coming in this year hot. He's been batting really well at the nets in Ranchi. He's been practicing a lot. Again, him and Ishan Kishan have put in the hard yards. Another keeper batsman from Jharkhand, the third keeper batsman in recent times, who's really making
What's he like though? For those who have not seen him, what kind of batter is he?
Very, very attacking, short, like he plays a really good pickup shot, really good short arm jab. If you drop short to him, he's really good with that kind of stuff. But again, he's one of those youngsters who needs a bit of grooming at the highest level, needs some game time as well. I think if Mumbai Indians groom him, like they've groomed a lot of other youngsters, he's a very bright star for the future.
Yeah, so Robin Mintz, I saw him last year. He came into the nets and we were playing some practice game. I bowled him, I saw a left-hander, a young guy walking in, I bowled him a normal leg spinner. So he just defended. Second one, I bowled a wrong one and he hit that one out of the park. And I was like, oof, this guy can bat. Because the way he hit that, it was like effortless.
Very West Indian kind of batsman, you know. And his swagger is a bit West Indian as well. Very chilled out, doesn't talk too much, but just has some serious power in the middle.
We know he was highly rated with the kind of bidding war we saw at the auction that, the one before last. So Robin Minge, we're excited to see. Good on him to get an IPL debut. Satyanarayan Raju actually went at base price. Played for the Godavari Titans, a right arm seamer. So somebody will have to fill in for Bumrah's role. But Deepak Chahar at the Chepauk. No Mitch Santner then, therefore, I think is what I saw on that team. If I got that right, they've got
absolutely
Mujib.
no Mitch Santner.
Yeah, no there. Mitchell Santner, which is quite interesting, Eros.
Yeah, I mean, has he ever really arrived at the IPL? When you think about his international form, now leader of the one-day side for New Zealand, he's just a world beater. I mean, he has always sat on the benches a lot for CSK. Never really kind of reached that potential that we could appreciate at his international game. So, probably doesn't surprise me that they haven't put him in. But the reality is, he's a great option any time. A good leader with the ball as well.
I'm just trying to think the amount of experience Mitch Santner has of Chepauk, bowling at the CSK batters, many of them. Is there a reason why that matchup doesn't lend itself for selection today? Rachin and Dubey and left arm spinner not working. Would you have played Santner ahead of Mujibur Rahman? Mujib is playing.
Mujib is playing, but like Hayden said, I mean, Santner is somebody who's never really got a chance from the start, Like somebody like Santner doesn't just offer you a lot with the ball, but also he offers you a lot with the bat as well.
Yeah.
I remember him taking CSK across the finish line in a very close game against RR 1 year, the match which was famous for a lot of other things as well.
Like what? I don't remember. What happened?
Neither do I, but I just remember something happened there.
You're talking about Jharkhand wicket batters 2 minutes back. No?
Yeah, but he's really good player, but he should have been given a start. But again, like you said, a good point, a lot of powerful lefties in the mix there.
So he started in 19, Hedos's point, Mitch Santner, IPL 2019. He's played 18 matches and this is now going to be his 6th season in the IPL. So 18 games in 5 years.
Could it be just as simple as this, that he's playing against his side that would know him so well, that would have faced him in the nets, may well in that situation have zero fear of him as well? Could it just be that simple?
All right, could possibly be, right? That is what we have for you from the MI team. And I'll tell you what a great 5 minutes we've just had. Because now I'm now told Mitchell Santner is playing.
Oh wow.
Just sorry about that.
Well, it was an obvious choice, wasn't it? I mean, can we rule out some stats there that can support that as well?
So let's do this the other way. This is so good. This is what we do, or what they do as analysts. They can turn quotes immediately. So yeah, Mitch Santner is playing. Excellent call. He knows the CSK opposition so well.
Bowl them out heaps in the nets.
Well, obviously he's a
they're scared of Santner because he's both.
The kind of form he's in, he should have been the straight choice, and that's what we have seen now.
I mean, well, it's not a bad thing. He's an international captain. He will add plenty over there.
Can we get the teams up again?
Let's bring it up. Let's bring the right team up this time. Matthew Hayden, and we will bring you that team in just a second. I'm sure they're doing their best. Right, but let's keep the conversation going. It's going to be a very interesting power play when we see these two teams in action for the first time in the tournament. So let's have some Maruti Suzuki Arena Presents Power Play conversations.
Wasn't there?
Right. Let's talk power play tactics. CSK winning the toss and bowling first. And let's just confirm the bowling options that they do have. Now Nathan Ellis plays. We know he's a back-end bowler. Ashwin with the power plays. Something you guys have alluded to. How would you like Ruturaj Gaikwad to start off? Piyush?
I think to start off with, you just want to go with the fast bowlers maybe in the first, because Khalil Ahmed, somebody who can, really bowl well with the new ball. and he has got that luck factor with the wickets. He'll leak runs, but he'll end up picking 1 or 2 wickets, and that's what you want in the power play. And on the other end, Sam Curran, who can use the new ball to good effect with getting the ball tail into the right-handers. And so many times we have discussed about Rohit Sharma against the left arm, but now not at that pace, to be honest. But Khalil Ahmed could be the good option.
Khalil, new franchise for him as well. He's a power play option. Sam Curran too, and there's Ryan Rickleton, who we should speak of as well. Been talking him up as the next Quinton de Kock. He was with the MIC Cape Town side that won the SA20.
I think I would back Piyush on what he's saying. Definitely start with both lefties. They both move the ball up front. I think with the way T20 cricket is going now, you really need to bowl up front, swing. Because if you bowl pace and there's no movement of the deck, batsmen are just lining you up. So you got to back bowlers who can swing the ball. That's why Trent Bolt, Deepak Chahar, these kind of bowlers are going to be like gold dust in this whole tournament.
Haydos, power play tactics.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is. It's. We saw Spencer Johnson the other night just get absolutely hammered, and that's because he doesn't move the ball a lot. He's straight up. He's got good velocity, but players are just lining him up. They got no fear now. They're finding a way to just access both sides of the ground. If they can't get it on the line, they create the line. That's what Abhishek Sharma is so good at doing, and so is Travis Head. They'll move to one side, get across this crease. They'll get bowlers challenged in the way that they actually go about operating inside their little patterns of bowling. Whether that be good short balls, off-pace deliveries, but swinging the ball is gold dust. There's no doubt about it.
All right. On that note, as the action is about to get underway at the Chepauk, let's get a first innings score prediction. I can now give you a little bit of help through it's the time for AI, although Cricinfo's projected score and predictor has been around for a long time. And we're seeing 179 on Cricinfo's projected scores. So now you can tell us what your projected scores
Start
are.
from Haydos.
I would start with Haydos. He copies otherwise. Yeah, Haydos.
Yeah, 179. See, that's what you call
with the technology.
Man, I just go with a half volley. If you want to dish me up that bag.
Oh, did I say 179? I got that wrong, I think. Yeah. All right. 179 Matthew Hayden. Varun Aaron?
185.
175.
All right. Well, that
Rookies.
that's a fairly small range of predictions from this fine panel. Let's see whether the El Clasico stands at the end of the MI innings. Join us then. But before we leave you, let's wrap up what's happened in Hyderabad, where I can tell you there's some serious run making. 242 is what Rajasthan have managed. So they've lost by 44 runs, like we saw in the SRH RCB game. Lots of runs scored. Nearly 528 runs have been scored in this game, which is extraordinary. And Dhruv Jurel's ended with a 35 ball 70. That's a score from someone who we thought Rajasthan value big time. But anyway, let's just wrap up the game over here. In the end, valiant effort with the bats, so they lost this by just conceding too many.
When you're chasing 287, you expect the team to win, who's defending that. But getting 242, because generally what happens when you're chasing that kind of a score, you end up either getting all out for 140 odd runs because trying to play too many shots. But this is really good effort, reaching to 242, and that will give a lot of confidence to the Rajasthan batting lineup, because we were having so many discussions that they retain all the Indian batters and how they're gonna do those big hitting and everything. But now getting 242, that will definitely give them a lot of confidence.
I mean, can we establish who was closest to the mark? Because I was way off the mark. I had 180.
Yeah, I think Matt
I was 200.
Matt had about 220.
He said 220 or something.
Yeah, we got rid of Matt for that reason. Right. We got Varun in his place.
I should definitely be exiting though.
I will just tell you, this has been a pretty good effort. Shubham Dubey got 34 of 11. Shimron Hetmyer got 42 of 23. Samson's got a decent 66. So at least the batting can bail them out. But the bowling is at a serious concern after how they bowled today. Haydos?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah,
but I just further to that, I'm just thinking ahead, to this tournament. If you're going to try and destroy a run chase and you end up with my prediction of 180, then your net run rate starts going south so quickly in this tournament. So it is good that they've actually managed to hang in there.
Yep. All right. And on that note, let's just do a very quick rapid fire review of that first game. Gentlemen, you know how this works. Quick fire answers to this game between Sunrisers and Rajasthan Royals. Let me start with you, Piyush Chawla. Ishan Kishan in all-out attack Sunrisers Hyderabad. Is that a perfect match for both parties?
Well, 100% it was a good game.
You asked for quick answers.
Yeah.
Quick
Got a quick
answer.
answer.
Kishan is a perfect match with SRH, yes?
Yes.
Hayana is a very popular property. Varun Aaron, how much of SRH's total was owed to that start provided by Travishek?
I think starting the game is really important with the bat or with the ball. I think the RR bowlers were really off the money today, and that gave them a lot of options to score, especially a lot of wide balls, a lot of short balls, and we know how they destroy with both batsmen.
All right, Matthew Hayden, what could the Rajasthan Royals bowlers have done better to restrict Sunrisers?
Well, we said this at the innings break. I just felt like they were chasing their tails around. They were completely owned by batters that were batting with strike rates of 200 plus. The worst thing, or the thing that I want to see a bowler do is change their game, whether that be a ball by ball or over by over affair. You know, so if somehow they can manage opposition sides against Sunrisers Hyderabad, can hold their nerve and not try and have 5 or 6 different strategies within the one over, just bowl their bankable best ball, and if it gets hit for a boundary, then so be it. What we're seeing though is this complete chaos. It's like Sunrisers Hyderabad are just throwing in some sort of bomb, and everyone's just getting so distracted.
All right, Piyush, back to you. Did Rajasthan miss a trick by not playing Hasaranga?
Well, Hasaranga is obviously a good bowler and he can pick up wickets in those middle overs. But it's not only about Hasaranga. If you see the other bowlers also, other bowlers has to contribute. If Hasaranga is not there, okay, even if Hasaranga was there, instead of 287, they would have scored 260 then. Nothing less than that, because the other bowlers didn't contribute to that game.
All right, Varun Aaron, first impressions of the new Sunrisers bowling mix with Simarjeet, Shami and Harshal Patel with Adam Zam.
I think the one area where Sunrisers were lacking last year was wickets up front. Bhuvi didn't have the best IPL with the new ball, and they've perfectly filled that gap with 2 really good new ball bowlers. Mohammad Shami, Simarjeet bowled really well with the new ball. Simarjeet was bowling some gas today, and he was getting some nibble off the wicket, which is great signs for them, because again, they lost 3 wickets up front, and that's what slowed them down.
All right, and Matthew Hayden, finally, will Rajasthan's batters have to do the heavy lifting this season given their bowling lineup?
I would say yes, if you want a short answer.
Yeah, that's simple as that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Before we wrap it up, though, Sanju Samson getting a score, starting well, even though he's not 100% fit. 1 positive for the Royals. Batted okay?
Big positive. Big positive. Not just Sanju Samson, all the players who they retained have actually batted well. So it justifies that. But at the end of the day, we all know bowlers win new games. They've let go of all their main bowlers from last year, which has cost them heavy this game.
Yeah, no, it's a big positive. When you look at that batting effort, Jaswal has to be there. Has to be a good start for them. You know, when you've got 4 frontline Indian batters to start, and Shimron Metmire actually, you know, coming good today was also a real good positive for him. But Jaswal has to be in the mix. Rian Parag, he's got the captaincy. You know, that's going to have to be something that's going to sit easy with him, because his form last year was superb. Need more of that.
Yeah, the 2 best players from the last couple of years, Jaiswal and Parag, are the ones who missed out. At least the others have fired. Right, we leave it there. Thank you very much. Haydos, Varun, Piyush. We will see where this game is between 179 and 185 or something. That's where you've gone. Nothing imaginative. Nothing fun.
Just bring AI in here.
Come on. Give me a 220 somebody, or give me like a 110. Nothing in between. Right. More fun with the panel at the end of the Mumbai Indians innings. Join us then for Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.